Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, we're going to catch up with Scott in Arizona and his DIY hot tub build as he tests his systems. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so we've been following the progress of Scott in Arizona as he's adding a hot tub to his existing swimming pool. And over the last few videos, we've seen how he had an awful time with the electrics. It certainly set him back a couple of weeks, but we got there in the end. And in the last video, we actually saw Scott in the tub. And it was more a case of, does this thing just work? In this video, we're actually looking to check that everything is actually working properly. So rather than just functioning, we want to make sure that everything's working properly. More importantly, it's at this point that Scott wants to check for any leaks that may be in the system and anything that's not quite right. Now, pressure testing a DIY hot tub or plunge pool setup is quite difficult. You do need quite a bit of specialist kit, which us DIYers tend not to have on hand. So the next best thing you can do is, before you get too far into the project in terms of finishing materials, things like tiles and that kind of thing, and backfills and concrete fills, you can actually fill the system up with water, fill your tub full of water, run it, check for leaks, and this is by far the best way of doing it. And it's one of the only ways that we can actually test things, again, as DIYers. And that's exactly what Scott is going to do. Now, before we get there, always a great opportunity for me to say, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that notification icon to be notified when my videos go live. I do 2 long form videos just like this every single week, a whole bunch of shorts, and everything on my channel focuses on DIY hot tubs, plunge pools, parts, and pretty much everything in between. So with that out of the way, let's get back to the action and see how Scott is getting on.
All right, let's go through the cycle. So first off, that's the filter. Filter's running great. Hot water's coming out. I can't get it to go above 99, Andy, so I'm not sure why.
Okay, let's stop that one there. Very quickly, Balboa systems have 2 different modes. They have high temperature and they have low temperature. What Scott's got is he's got his system in low temperature mode, which means it will only go up to, I think he said 98 on that video, or 99. He needs to change it. To change it, really simple. You do a keypad combo press. You press the temperature button, then you hit warm, then you hit light, and then you hit warm again. And you will see that next to the button, or next to the indicator that says range, the black arrow will have gone from pointing down to actually pointing up on the screen, indicating that it's in high temperature mode. And Scott will now be able to use the temperature up button on his keypad to take that up to 104, which is the maximum that you can set on a Balboa system. So let's get back to Scott and his testing.
Okay, so let's run just the jets. Jets run fine. Everything's primed. I figured out a good way to prime it pretty quickly.
Okay, so why did Scott mention priming? Well, priming is the process of removing air from the system, and you really want to prime the system more so if your control room, or your control pad in Scott's case, is above ground. Normally with DIY hot tub builds, we look to get the control room below the water level so that we can use centrifugal pumps, and it's a lot easier and a lot cheaper. Wasn't an option for Scott because he wanted to have his hot tub kit next to his pool pad. So we have an above ground setup, and in an above ground setup, you've got to prime your pumps. And that's really what Scott was referring to. What he's done is he's basically, from the top of the pump, he's filled it with a hose, as much water as he can get in, locks it all up, turns it on, and then slowly that pump, because it's a self-primer, it can suck air and it will eventually get the air out of the system, so all is left with water. So that's why he's referring to priming in this video. So, Scott, back to you.
Takes a second. There we go. Okay, so obviously the air comes out of that one first. I thought the leak was there, but I see some water on the plastic, but interestingly enough, I can't find any moisture on the pipes. So maybe I spilled that water there, I don't know. Anyways, let's open these up. It's pretty awesome those open. I didn't know that. It's pretty cool. Those open and close. Okay, so those are the jets going. I do hear a little bit of friction or something here. Just a little buzz. Anyways, all right. Now let's turn that off and do just the air. It's all in my wells, but I'll vacuum that out. Yeah, it might just be wet from this. All right, and I'll do jets plus air.
I think that took the temp down fast.
Now that's air and jets. It does just sound like a little more friction in here than anywhere else. I don't see any dripping or water movement. I'll have to dig all this out. I'm gonna have to pull the plastic back and dig everything out. But there you go. It's working pretty damn good, man. Turn the air off. Let's just leave the jets on and close all of them for a second and see. Well, it's probably the most pressure, I guess, that those pipes would have. Still hear some hissing there. That almost sounds like a little bubble. It's a little bit of air. I just can't see any moisture. And it does look wet. That might be from all the splashing just now. Anyways, thanks, man. Appreciate your help trying to figure all this out.
Scott, thanks ever so much for the video update, and the testing is definitely going well. We've got a couple of leaks that we need to track down there by the looks of things, but most of that water was definitely caused by the huge amounts of power and splashing that's coming out of those jets, which is absolutely fantastic. As always, if I can help you with your DIY hot tub or plunge pool build, please do get in touch. Always happy to hear from you. Thanks ever so much for the view, really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.